What's up, summoners? Tldr here. Today, we're going to be talking about the new banner hero, bomb model Kanna, and whether or not you should pull for her. So if you like the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the Discord server, link down in the description. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So as always, I like to start these videos by giving you a current situation of where we are right now in terms of summons, as well as a summary of the unit and the artifact, so you have a better idea on whether or not to pull for the unit. So for Kanna and where we are right now, it is still the GG collab banner. I still recommend you get an Elfelt and a Dizzy if possible, and a copy of Miss Con file. At least one more would be nice, but it's not necessary. So make sure you have those all ready to help you out in the future. Baiken, we will be doing a Banshee one-shot this Sunday. We'll be showcasing that team and showing how easy it is if you do manage to pull a Baiken, although it's not necessary, right? But as far as bomb model Kanna, another important thing to note is that this unit is a free unit. You can get this unit without pulling on her banner. If you're pulling on her banner, it is just because you want imprints. She does have a connections. Everyone can do these. You can do this. They are very annoying. They will take a long time. It'll probably take you a couple of days, but you can get her for free. You don't have to pull for the units. The only thing you're pulling for in this banner is if you want the imprints and if she thinks she's waifu. That is the only reason for you to pull for this banner. So if you are a free-to-play player, my answer for this banner is don't pull for it. It's as simple as that, right? So as simple as that. If you're a free-to-play player, don't summon for Kanna. Just get her from the connections. There's zero reason for you to try to be going for it. The artifact is cool and it's nice for PvE, but it's not worth you dumping stuff to try to pull for both, right? There's a lot more stuff. We know there's going to be a collab in 2 months. That is a brand new IP that always with limited units, they always have an impact on the meta, right? You can think of F10A, Seaside Bologna, right? Cerise, Landy, all these limited units had an impact in the game. So you need to be saving, if you're a free-to-play player, for those things. So again, TLDR of this, don't pull on the banner if you're free-to-play. The only reason you're pulling is if you think she's waifu and you want the imprints and you have a ton of extra resources. That is the only reason. Not even like the artifact, because you just put it from the shop and it's not that impactful that you need to have. So that's that for that. But we're still going to talk in the video about what she can actually do and why you should try to get her from the connection. That you get her for free. Why you should still get her. So as a summary on what Kanna actually does is she's an amazing Earth expedition, which is one of the expeditions people struggle with the most and is one of the most unit intensive expeditions. She also does have just overall really good potential for PvE as a whole, because she does do a lot of damage and has a lot of buffs, and I really do think she can actually function for PvP in a fun team, right? So if you're someone that likes to have fun in PvP, she's a fun unit. She looks very fun and has a potential for PvP, especially because of Guiding Light. That's the big one. So let's actually look at her kit and as the imprint and why you should get her from the connection. But again, do not summon for her unless you think she's waifu when you want the imprints. There's your summary. You can click the video on now unless you want to hear what my thoughts on her and what she actually does, right? So just a TLDR. I feel like I have to say that again because someone's going to go out there and pull for her and then not have things to summon for other stuff, right? She's a free unit. As far as the imprint, she gets attack. As we mentioned before in this channel, as far as self-imprints go, while attack percentage is very nice, it is not the best self-imprint that's out there, right? And the crit rate one, again, it's nice, but most of your DPSs should already be at 100% crit rate. So you should not have to rely on this imprint for this. And for this one, while it is nice, it's not game-breaking. It's not like crit rate, right? Like if it was a crit rate, self-imprint, that's a lot more impactful, right, for that unit, because having a 15% increase in crit is equivalent to 2 rolls. This is equivalent to 3 rolls. This is the equivalent of about 2 rolls, right? It's still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still very nice and functions very well with her, but it's not the same thing as the crit rate, and it's not going to make her significantly worse if you don't have the imprints, right? But now, as far as the stats, she does have pretty good stats overall, right? The speed is kind of weird that it's 114. It's slower than things like Top Model Luluka and Sage Ball, but it's only by 1 speed, so it's still pretty nice speed. The attack is nice, right? It's not terrible. The HP and defense is pretty low. It's not bruiser levels. It's not like tank levels. It's just okay, right? It's just a unit that can take 1 hit or 2 and then will die. So nothing crazy, and then does have some effectiveness to help her with her S3 and does not get any help on the crit rate aspect. So as far as her actual skills and as far as the model, I do have to say, I love the model. It's actually one of my favorite. Like, in terms of design, she looks super good. She actually looks like a mecha waifu kind of deal, right? She actually looks like a mecha unit. The wings that she has are really cool. She looks bulky because she's carrying a massive machine gun, right? So it feels realistic. Her animations are super sick. They just do a really good thing thematically, and also with the kit itself. I like that the fact that she's a free hero. The kit is not garbage. The kit's actually really good for a free hero. It's good for PvE with the potential for PvP. That's all you can ask for. If you have a unit that's good for PvE and PvP, that's already a really good free unit. That's amazing. If Smilegate's able to do that, and they were able to do it with Kanna, right? So as far as this one. What's unique about this skill, if you guys didn't see already, this skill does hit 2 enemies every single time. Whether it's from a dual attack, whether it's from a counter attack, no matter what, she is targeting 2 allies. That's all it does. It attacks 2 heroes, and it does damage based on her speed, right? Very basic, but very good, right? The only other heroes that have similar things to this are things like Vildred, Arbiter Vildred, Spectre Tenebria when you do the S3, and Ball. Right, those are the only units that have this mechanic, and it's a really cool mechanic. Where does this help? She's Fire, Earth Expedition. She'll do extra damage on her S1 to the Earth Expedition boss, since she A is Fire and B is a multi-target skill. Right, so she will always be doing extra damage to the boss in that aspect. So that part, pretty neat. Then is her S2. This one is a pretty cool skill. Essentially, depending if you have your ultimate up or not, you get a different bonus, right? So if full bombardment is unavailable, so that's your ultimate, you get a striking stance, which you essentially get damage, right? So that striking stance, when your S3 is down, you get extra speed and increased dual attack chance. This is really nice because it's legit a, I believe it's like 15% dual attack chance increase. Right, so that's 6%, 8%, 10%. Yeah, it's a 15% chance increase, which means you have a 20% chance to dual attack with bomb model Kanna. The maximum dual attack chance you can get is 25%, right? And she's almost already there at the max dual attack chance. That's super cool because it makes it so every time you use an S1 skill, Kanna has a chance to just attack with an S1 again and do damage, and she gets an increase of 15% speed, making her go from a 114 base speed unit to, after you give her this, to a 130 base speed unit, right? And I don't know if this actually adds to the base speed or if it actually adds to the actual speed. That's something I don't know, and I would have to check. But overall, it's a nice little increase, right? It definitely will make her take more turns, will make her do more damage. And if allies attack with her, she'll do extra damage, right? You can use things like Rose Hargana. You can use things like Infinity Basket to try to get more dual attacks in, right? Especially things like Rose Hargana that makes extra damage when you attack with an ally to make use of her dual attack. And that's just the S1, right? That's cool. And the S2. Pretty unique, pretty basic. The S3 just gives her effectiveness, which makes it so you can just use the S3 randomly without needing to really put that much effectiveness on her. But the S3, what this does is an AoE attack that has a 100% chance to dispel a buff. Pretty basic. And give increased speed to all your allies. Really good for PvE. And for PvP as well, and gives herself increased attack, allowing her to do more damage in Expedition. So this skill, nothing crazy for PvP. One buff is not the end of the world, but having 100% and why it's one buff, it is very targeted to the Earth Expedition that usually does have that one buff. But I am a huge fan whenever units buff themselves and have buffs for the allies. So she has a small strip, buffs your speed, which lets you take more turns, and buffs her attack, allowing her to do more damage with this S1, especially if you have units following up and doing dual attacks with her, with Rose Hargana or whatever, and you can do quite a lot, right? She can do significant amount of damage with dual attacks, and especially because she hits 2 enemies. So that part, really, really cool. So as far as what I think of her overall, so as far as PvE, she's probably going to be the best DPS for Earth Expedition. If you're struggling with Earth Expedition, she literally dumpsters it. If you have her and Ball, the fire unit, or Tenebria to pair along with her that can decrease the speed of the enemy and can also decrease defense, pairing that off with someone that can also increase speed will make it so you're just taking so many turns, it's going to be ridiculous. And you get the opportunity to also dual attack with her and just do tons of damage, right? So she is ridiculous for Earth Expedition. She will be doing just not okay amounts of damage in Earth Expeditions. There's already posts on Reddit that have shown Earth Expedition solos. One person clearing the whole level 3 with Kanna, Ball, Ross, and Tama. So that's how strong she is. She enables that. She enables the potential for you to legit just solo the Earth Expedition. That's how powerful she is. And the fact that it hits 2 allies, I mean, it's just overall a really good PvE skill. Being able to hit 2 allies is always pretty nice to enemies. It does a lot of damage, can be used for Lavi, can be used for some Abyss stages. The speed buff, again, is invaluable, and the fact that she buffs attack is invaluable. As far as PvP, the reason why I say she can also be used for a fun team composition, similar to a Landy, is because of the fact that she has access to Guiding Light, similar to Landy, and you can set up her own attack buff, her own speed buff, strip a couple of buffs, and then abuse the S1, potentially hitting things like Aspected Tenebria in the backline and doing pretty good consistent damage. So she seems very fun. I don't think it's like, oh yeah, this unit's broken for PvP now. She looks viable, and that's all there is to it, right? And in a way, it does counter Landy, since if you do enough damage to her, you can strip the barrier, or if they don't have a barrier, you can actually hit the Landy, right? So a lot of cool stuff, has potential, but it's not going to be like game breaking or anything. Just a fun little unit you can use for PvP. Not much besides that. So that is it for Bomb Model Kanna. As far as the artifact, since we do have extra time today, since there's not that much in this one, I mean, it's not a bad artifact, but there's just better options, right? So this artifact, what's good about this artifact is actually going to be the fact that it's, as for a stat boost, is one of the highest stat boosts. The hit chance is nice. It lets you hit like Moonlight Dreamblade enemies, but the critical hit damage aspect of it is the big part of it. The critical hit damage makes it so you do extra damage overall and will be really good for PvE. As I mentioned though, things like Rose Hargana can be a lot better. But that is going to be it for Bomb Model Kanna. Again, don't pull for her, especially if you're free to play. So that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you all enjoy, and yeah, just don't use the summons and just get it from connections. That's all I got. Peace.